Welcome back, future leaders and career enthusiasts, to the CareerPodcast. I'm your host, Nusrat.
And I'm your co-host, Arefin. We're thrilled to have you join us for another insightful conversation designed to help you navigate your professional journey.
Today, Arefin, we're diving into two words that often get used interchangeably but have distinct and powerful meanings, especially in the workplace: sympathy and empathy.
Absolutely, Nusrat. They're critical for building strong relationships, leading effective teams, and even for client interactions. But I think many of us might not fully grasp the nuanced differences.
Exactly. So let's break it down. Arefin, let's start with sympathy. How would you describe it?
Well, Nusrat, at its core, sympathy is feeling concern, sorrow, or pity for someone who's going through something difficult. You acknowledge their pain from your own perspective, but you don't necessarily share their exact emotions.
That's a great way to put it. It's like, oh, that's tough, I feel bad for them. You're recognizing their struggle, but you're not stepping into their emotional shoes.
Right. Think of it this way. Someone tells you they just lost a big client. A sympathetic response might be, oh no, I'm so sorry that happened to you. You understand it's a negative event and you feel bad for them.
Perfect example. Now let's pivot to empathy. This is where things get a bit deeper, isn't it?
It really is. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It involves actively sensing what they're thinking or feeling, putting yourself in their shoes, and experiencing those emotions with them.
So it's not just observing from a distance, it's almost like a temporary immersion. You're feeling what they feel, or at least a reflection of it.
Precisely. Going back to our example of the lost client, an empathetic response might be, wow, losing that client must be incredibly frustrating and stressful right now. I can imagine how much effort you put into that and how disheartened you must feel. You're trying to tap into their frustration and stress.
That makes a huge difference, doesn't it? One feels like an observation, the other feels like a connection. You know, Arefin, I was thinking of a great visual that really nails the difference. Imagine two people. With sympathy, you see someone sitting in the rain, looking sad, and you feel bad for them. You might offer a kind word from a distance.
That's a good image. So you're observing their discomfort.
Exactly. Now, for empathy, imagine that same person in the rain, but this time you actually walk over, sit with them, and even hold an umbrella over both of you, experiencing the downpour alongside them. You're feeling with them.
Wow, that's such a clear distinction. It really highlights that feeling for versus feeling with.
It really does, and that brings us to the core differences. Arefin, if you were to sum up the main distinction?
I'd say the main distinction is in the level of emotional involvement and perspective. With sympathy, you're observing from an external perspective, feeling for them. With empathy, you're adopting a shared perspective, feeling with them.
Exactly. And we can break down a few more key differences. For instance, in terms of the experience, sympathy involves feeling pity or sorrow based on just being aware of someone's distress.
Right. Well, empathy is actually feeling the same emotions as the other person, or at least having a deeply appropriate emotional response to what they're going through. It's truly understanding their mental state.
And then there's the emotional distance. With sympathy, you maintain a degree of emotional distance from the other person's feelings. It's like you're on the riverbank watching them rather than being in the boat with them.
Whereas empathy creates a much deeper emotional connection. You're bridging that gap, getting into the boat with them, and sharing the experience.
The focus is also different. Sympathy focuses on their suffering from your own viewpoint. You're processing it through your lens.
And empathy, crucially, focuses on their suffering from their viewpoint. You're consciously trying to see the world through their eyes.
And you can even hear it in how we express it. A sympathetic statement often sounds like, I am sorry for your loss.
While an empathetic statement sounds more like, I feel with you and understand your pain.
So it really boils down to sympathy is feeling for someone and empathy is feeling with someone.
That's the perfect takeaway, Nusrat. And in the workplace, both have their place, but empathy is increasingly recognized as a vital skill for leadership, team collaboration, and even for client interactions.
Absolutely. And think about it. When you're empathetic as a manager, you're better able to understand why a team member might be struggling with a deadline, not just that they are struggling. This allows for more effective problem solving and support.
Or in sales, an empathetic salesperson can genuinely understand a client's pain points, leading to solutions that truly meet their needs rather than just pushing a product. It builds trust.
Absolutely. And it's not always easy to be empathetic. It requires active listening, emotional intelligence, and sometimes putting aside your own immediate reactions to truly hear and feel what someone else is going through.
It's a skill, like any other, that can be developed, and the rewards in terms of stronger professional relationships and a more positive work environment are immense.
I completely agree. So for our listeners today, think about your interactions at work. Are you mostly sympathetic or are you striving for empathy? And how can you cultivate more empathy in your daily professional life?
Great question to ponder. Start by actively listening without interrupting, asking open-ended questions, and trying to visualize yourself and their situation.
And remember, it's okay to be sympathetic. It's a human response. But pushing yourself towards empathy can unlock deeper connections and more effective communication.
This has been a fantastic discussion, Nusrat. I think our listeners now have a much clearer picture of these two powerful concepts.
I hope so too, Arefin. And I hope they feel empowered to bring more empathy into their careers.
That's all the time we have for today on the Career Podcast. Thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share us with your colleagues and friends.
Join us next time for more insights on building a successful and fulfilling career.
Until then, keep thriving.